Isa sa mga popular concerns ng mga parents when they think about homeschooling is yung socialization ng mga anak nila. Will their kids have friends? Are they going to learn how to relate to others? How will they do when they go off into the world? Are they going to be okay? And so today we're going to talk about how to have healthy socialization, and you can do this from your home. You can train this in your children from the home. This is how we teach with joy. What is healthy socialization? Because when we think about the word socialization, sometimes we're just thinking about, can my children relate to peers their age? Can they get along with others who are their same age? That's what we think about when we think of socialization. But healthy socialization is really, can my child learn to get along with all kinds of people from all walks of life, different socioeconomic classes? Can they relate to adults, to young children? Do they know how to behave in social situations? Kunyari, you're at an event. Do they know not to run around and be noisy and be obnoxious? And do they also know how to choose the right kinds of friends, the right kinds of influences in their life? That is healthy socialization. So we may not always realize this, but healthy socialization really begins at home, sa bahay, in the context of family relationships. For example, when you're teaching your kids how to be kind to others, how to forgive, how to reach out to others, how to be unconditionally loving. So if our kids can practice these relationship principles with one another at home, and if we can also, as parents, model this to them, that's how they're going to learn how to relate to others really well, even outside of the home. So the other thing is we need to expose them to different cultures. We would teach our kids how to relate to people from all kinds of countries, and then also to eat all kinds of foods, to appreciate what's unique in different cultures and different countries. Pero ngayon, mahirap gawin yun, di ba? So what we have to do is be creative. We can give our children an appreciation of things, of people that are different than who we are, than what we are like, and teach them to think very positively of these differences as well. And so anytime we talk about a different culture, we should always represent this culture in a positive way. Don't say negative things about anybody's culture. We also want to encourage our kids to get involved in ministry experiences. Kids can do ministry online. You know, yung mga anak ko, what they do is they are doing Bible studies with their friends, even while it's quarantine, through Zoom calls. So they're still connecting with other kids, and they're still trying to see how they can minister to other children online during the quarantine. So there are ways even to get our children involved in ministry experiences where they can reach out to others, they can still be a blessing. And that's part of healthy socialization. And they learn how to communicate also, because that's part of socializing, that's part of social development. And in our home, we can encourage a culture of serving one another, right? Because as our children move out of the home someday, or as they also pursue relationships outside of the home, they need to learn to be somebody who serves, who looks to the needs of others. So I remember the other day, I was in the kitchen, kasi every morning, nagpe-prepare ako ng tray para sa asawa ko with his snacks, with his drinks, so that all day he can be in his office working. So my daughter, pinapansin niya kung anong ginagawa ko, tapos sabi niya, you know what, Mom, I'm going to also do a tray for Elijah, because Elijah's been so busy doing a lot of work online for the homeschoolers, for the homeschool high schoolers. So, gumawa siya din ng tray, she put all these snacks on it, and sinabi niya sa akin, you know what, Mom, someday when I get married, I also want to do this for my husband. So these are relationship principles. Learning to serve is one way that we can also teach our kids to look outside of themselves and look to the needs of others. So another aspect of healthy socialization is creating a culture in our home where there's open communication. Can our kids, you know, tell us what their dreams are? Do they feel safe so that they can open up about their hurts, about their anxieties, about their failures, about their victories, about their joys, the things that are important to them? Do they feel that way towards one another, among siblings? So we need to create that kind of culture in our home, because if our kids feel like they can do that at home, then they'll be able to take those same communication principles and apply it outside with their other relationships. And one way we can encourage open communication is to ask one another, how can we improve? How can we change? How can we be better? Is there anything that I need to ask you for forgiveness for because I've hurt you? So every month, ginagawa namin to as a family. We gather all the kids and everyone can share with one another. We go around, nag-share talaga kami how we can improve, how we can change, and the kids know that they can open up, they can be themselves. May iyakan minsan, there's a lot of hugging, there's a lot of healing, but this is how we can teach our kids how to communicate well about what's in their hearts, and also how to be brave about telling others how they can improve, because that's hard to do, but that's an important skill when it comes to socializing with others. Then of course you can also, on a very practical level, let your kids connect with others online. You know, even homeschoolers, they have opportunities to do this. There's High School Unite for the high schoolers. They can be part of an organization with other homeschoolers. They can contribute, they can participate in activities. They can also join online clubs. And my son, one of my sons, actually nasa basketball team siya, pero walang basketball ngayon, but he is still hanging out with his basketball teammates online. Every week, nag-meet sila, and then they have devotion time together. They also do drills together online. So there's ways to do things online, even with the limitations, where our children still can connect with friends or make new friends. And if you're part of a homeschool organization, a lot of times they have like what's called learn groups or play groups. And sometimes moms can volunteer to host like a play group with other friends. Like if you have friends who are homeschooling, then you can volunteer to host a playgroup where your kids can get together online. You can do activities together, you can do art, maybe you can do a project together with the other kids. It can be a group learning experience. So just because we're on quarantine doesn't mean that our kids cannot connect with others, not just for fun, but in purposeful ways online. And finally, especially for older kids, give them a chance to connect with their friends via maybe chatting with their friends, or maybe through Zoom calls or Messenger. I think with our older kids, we can trust them to do that. Just give them a block of time during the day, because normally you'd want them to do that face-to-face, but we have to adjust and accommodate the restrictions of this quarantine. So we can be a little flexible when it comes to those things. Just make sure that the time is monitored, of course, and it's not, you know, hours and hours every day. So when it comes to socialization and homeschooling, the truth is socialization can be an issue whether your children are in school or whether you're homeschooling. Honestly, it's really the home context and how your relationships are going to be like in the home that determines whether your kids will be socialized in a healthy way. Because socialization, I really believe, begins at home with our relationships with one another. And I want to close with this verse. It's in Proverbs 17, verse 7, and it says, "A friend loves at all times." So we can teach our children, right? And model for them in the context of the home how to be loving, how to be caring, how to reach out to others, how to be forgiving. And what's going to happen then is they're going to take those principles. Tapos when they go out there and they relate to others, they will be able to really make good friends and be a blessing to others. And that's what we want at the end of the day. Can our children learn to be a blessing to others as they socialize with people from all walks of life?